Well, coming up in just a few minutes at 9, seasonal sadness, or is it something deeper? We're talking with two Warriors Heart alumni about overcoming addiction and mental health struggles during the winter.
All new this hour, the winter blues can be more than just seasonal sadness. For some, the isolation and darkness can intensify struggles with addiction, depression, and thoughts of suicide. Joining us now, retired Green Beret Shane St. John and former law enforcement officer Robert Greer from Warriors Heart, sharing how to overcome what they call the enemy within. Thank you both for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Robert, let's start with you. You recently talked about the Warriors Heart podcast about the enemy within and why it's especially dangerous during these winter months when people tend to sort of isolate more. Can you talk more about that?
Yeah, so the enemy within is that voice inside of our head, especially in the warrior community, that just tells us that we're a failure, that we're no good, that we're not worth living, those things, It's especially sad or especially bad in the wintertime because of the isolation. One of the things that we learned in treatment was isolation leads to depression, which leads to despair. And when we don't have any contact with the outside world, we're outside of our normal routine, that can set in pretty deeply, and that voice can get really loud inside of our head.
No doubt about that. And Shane, as a retired Green Beret, what are some of the hesitations maybe that you faced that perhaps could help somebody else watching when it came to just asking for help?
Yeah, I really faced that a lot before I went to Warriors Heart. I really just my ego, honestly, just got in my way. I was ashamed to ask for help. I feel like I wasn't good enough to ask for help, and it was really challenging. I would just advise people, just to reach out to a buddy. You never know, like he could be struggling on the other end.
Right.
So not isolating yourself is the key to not falling into depression.
Oh, it's so important. And Robert, based on your recovery journey, do you have a message, especially for veterans, the first responders who deal with so much stress all the time, or anyone who might be struggling in silence?
You're not alone. You're not alone at all. So many of us have been through it. And as Shane mentioned, many of us think that we're going through it ourselves and nobody else can understand that. It's something that we refer to as terminally unique. We're so unique and different that it's terminal to us. But once we start opening up and talking to others, we find that many of us have been through the same thing, through the same struggles, and we find strength and healing through that. Warriors Heart has our own AA branded Warriors Anonymous group, just about 7 days a week now on Zoom. It's a great way to connect and get involved with other people. There's also a PTS process group that I've done for years with Rachel Kornblit out of New Jersey. That's also a great way for guys to connect. With the advent of technology, there's no excuse not to. Get in those groups and talk to people and open up about your struggles, and you will find some healing.
Shane, from your viewpoint, how important is that support system when it comes to battling some of these issues?
The support system is critical. I mean, it is everything in this mission, and to tap onto the WA, Warriors Anonymous, is like, also, it's like, just make sure you don't have to be an alumni of Warriors Heart to attend the WAs. As long as you're in a law enforcement, veteran, first responder thing, you can join WA. But yeah, for me, the support system is everything. Like, you have to have that. Who else are you going to lean on? Who else are you going to be able to relate to? Because a lot of times, like, our head, like, honestly, it wants to kill us, right? It wants to start throwing all these crazy ideas in our head and thinking, all the distortion. So having that support system can kind of help you get out of that distorted mindset that you might be stuck in.
Robert, before we let you guys go, what can we do right now? Somebody's watching, somebody knows somebody. What's the first step to perhaps getting unstuck, if you will?
Well, for Warriors Heart, you can call us at 866-955-4035. We serve exclusively the warrior population. You can also log on to warriorsheart.com/connect. To connect with us, to get involved in the groups that we offer. For anybody else out there that's struggling, there's a ton of ways to get connected. There's 24 hours a day AA groups online. There's meetup.com. There's plenty of social networking groups that you can be a part of to reach out for that connection. But for the warrior community, you definitely want to check out warriorsheart.com/connect.
Can we find the information on the podcast there as well?
Absolutely. We always list it there. Okay. Yes, ma'am. If you look up the Warriors Heart podcast, you'll find us on YouTube. You'll find us on iTunes. You'll find us on your favorite podcast podcast source.
Thank you both for being so open and transparent about this. I hope we've helped somebody today. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Ma'am. Okay. Thank you again for having us.
Absolutely.